shall legalize weed. But I would like Dr. Gwada to come and stand near me, because that man is a blueprint of information that this country has refused to follow. This man has of recent advised a president in the neighboring country to start marijuana, and he has started it, though I will not name the president. Professor, if I go wrong, just pardon me and take over. But because of time, I'll go very fast. Number one acre of bangi can earn you $78,000 or 8 million per harvest. Per harvest, a harvest takes only 6 months. Now, if you have to harvest, that is 16 months, you earn 16 million. Of course, it will come with the tax implications, so that you can raise money and revenue for the government to continue with what it ought to do. The whole of Nyeri county is 583,000 acres. This means that if we grew bank in Nyeri County, Nyeri residents will earn 45 billion US dollars or 4.6 trillion per harvest. Kenya today owes China, or the debt we have today is $10 trillion. Mengine unaweza kujijazia. What happened? Is that where we start? Where's number one? Where's number one? I thought we started with number one. Yes. And because banking is harvested twice a year, it means Nyeri residents will earn $92 billion or 9.2 trillion every year. This means if we grew bank for export, Nyeri is in 1 year, will earn the equivalent of Ethiopia's GDP. If we grew bank in Nyeri alone, as you see, each Kenyan could get a dividend check. In Nyeri, each Kenyan would get a dividend check of 200,000 Kenya shillings every year from the sale of banking. That's Nyeri. That means that we shall be very happy with that amount just from one county. Semeni haleluya. Kila mtu atakuwa anafanya nini?
Anapanda bangi.
Utapanda bodaboda ya nini? Utauza miraa. Si miraa kitoko na export tuna huko na pesa nyingine extra. Utakaa kwako ama utakaa kwako? Utajenga nyumba ya mabati ama ya tiles? Endelee. If we grew banking in Nyeri alone, we would build 3 expressways in each county in Kenya. 2 express in each county in Kenya. If we grew bank in Nyeri alone, Kenya could buy Bill Gates and Microsoft in just 2 years. Canada, last year alone, 75,000 acres, harvested 486 billion US dollars. And you see all the drones you see flying here and there, they are made up of fiber, which is from hemp. If you look at Canada, this year, they manufactured the first plane made out of hemp, a product of marijuana. Now, if that plane was to land in Kenya today to pick up passengers because of international law, has Kenya got any jurisdiction to go and inspect the fabric of that plane?
No.
Let us stop joking. Let us stop being given unfair promises that cannot be fulfilled. We have a solution. And please let me went to school slowly. I was not making, there was a point that was down there. But let's continue. Yes. If we grew back in Nyeri alone, Kenya will have 10% of IMF total cash reserves. In short, we'll never have to borrow a single coin in future. Kenya will become the richest country in the world. Mount Kenya was made wealthy by two cash crops, coffee and tea. In fact, Kikuyus got their economic head start in 1923 when they were allowed to grow coffee and tea. Before 1923, it was illegal for any indigenous Kenyan to grow both crops. Bangi is our next cash crop. It grows widely in Mount Kenya. Question is, if we require the permission of Muzungus, who have now legalized Bangi, why should we legalize? We have punitive laws which were imposed on Kenyan Parliament through foreign aid. Nakada. Na wakati wametengeneza hiyo sheria, because wameambiwa msipotengeneza hii sheria tutawapatia mkopo, unaona wengine wanaenda kucheza hapo wakisema I've now made the rule, I've now made the rule. I wish there was a mimic here. Wanaenda to rejuvenate, putting our men and women in jail for things that are not proper. Having punitive regulations in this country that are putting our country outside the circles of morality. That's why we should have morality and solidarity. Repeat after me, morality and solidarity. That's the Roots Party for you. But for the others, and repeat after me, it's morality and it's solidarity and immorality. Solidarity and immorality. That's what you see, and that's how I define our opponents. Because they are in solidarity with immorality. They are telling us lies, package of lies, package of lies. They are not telling us how. We are telling you how. And that is the truth. It takes a man. It takes a man like Daktari here, who first of all started this crusade, went to the Senate twice, was thrown out because the pharmaceutical companies that I'm opposed to, who make medicines, have got what we call the lobbying scheme. When they hear that Kenya wants to legalize Bangi, they will call in the ministers concerned. Can you come for a talk in Britain? Whatever money they are given probably, and we know, and have figures, and trust me, I'll trash some of these opponents when they bring, yeah, you get them with bank accounts in Singapore. In Singapore, and I know who has money in Singapore and Dubai. In Singapore, so long as you can pay taxes on monies that you take there, that becomes legal. The wash that we know, the monies are taken to Singapore, they pay 15%, and then they bring it through Dubai to this country. Some of those opponents, let me tell you this, because I have the information, have staffed companies in Dubai to wash money. When the time for hanging comes, I will hang those ones when the laws are done. Tunataka kila mtu atuambie, including myself, ni pesa ngapi uko nayo? Hizi nyumba unaishi ulitoa wapi? Hii magari uko nayo umetoa wapi? Hii watoto wako kila wakati wakiwa wagonjwa naenda ng'ambo unapelekanga namna gani? Hii uongo unatudanganya kila siku unatudanganya kwa nini? It's up to you guys to ask. It's my humble opportunity to exercise. It's my humble opportunity to exercise your right to vote. To get that vote, as Mr. Kanye has said. Mr. Kanye that you saw there is a world scientist. He has worked for NASA in the US. He's a statistician. Very humble man. And probably that's why Justina chose him. Because if you look at Justina, umeona kama amechoka kwa uso. Umeona kama amechapa.
Sio shosho.
Sio mnaweza kumwamini na wasichana wenu.
Ndio.
That's why.
Yes, sio shosho.
Achukua kwa kama jamaa, nafikiria hiyo ni mambo tutaongea baadaye. Number 2. Snakes. Snakes. The Bible says that a snake, which they call a serpent, was a very brave animal. Inaendelea kusema kwamba hiyo ndio ilidanganya Adam. If Na hiyo ni story zao, hataki kwenda in between because kunasemekana kwamba kulikuwa na matunda ilikuliwa huko. Na watu wengine wakakasirika, ndio kwa maana watu wakaanza kujiona uchi. Like the kind of snake I'm talking about ni ile snake yenyewe original. Hata mimi nikiwaonyesha hivi journalists hii yote ni majeraha ya python when I was a young boy, how it really squeezed me to swallow me when I was young. Thank God I'm still alive, so I know the dangers of the snake. But the good part of it, the good part of that snake I'm talking about is that it's carrying something in it. It's carrying something in it that is very productive, that will give us $1 billion US per year. Na mimi nataka watu wachanuke tafadhali. Tumezoea ile lugha ambayo tunafundishwa kila siku for the last 50 years. Tukiambiwa kitu kama hiyo wengine wanakimbia, na wale bloggers wa ule mwingine ambao mmechukua jina langu kuongea on my behalf. Endeleeni tu, lakini your lives will soon be disapproved on the night when I take over as the president of this country.
Viva! Viva! Viva!
Wengine wanajiita Profesa Wajakoya kwa Facebook. Ile kizungu wanaandika haki ya Mungu kisoma, unajijazia. We will rear snakes. Can I come back to my snakes, please? Allow me to go the way I am a professor of law. We will rear snakes. If we did snake farming, each venomous snake farmer will earn an average of $6,000 or $600,000 per vial antivenom. Kadogo tu unanyonga kidogo, kanatoka chui, kanaingia kwa chupa. Hapo peke yake is 600 Kenya shillings unaweka kwa mfuko. Unaiweka inaendelea. Alafu tunajulikana hapa kwamba, for example, a cobra farmer will make $6,300 from a vial of cobra antivenom. If you harvest black mamba antivenom, a Kenyan farmer will take $5,300 per vial. Supposing you have 3 snakes. Na mtaonyeshwa how to keep them. You will be shown because the government will give you money from Ghana to put a proper infrastructure. You're a ganja farmer. Na unaweka nyoka kule kwa ganja, ndio mtu asije kukuibia. Alafu na wale both sides. Will you not be happy? Will you not be happy? Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that we have wealth. We have wealth in our country. We don't need to depend on these people anymore. You are the Rastafarian saying here. They said something about Batisia Lumumba. They talked about Haile Selassie. They talked about freedom of emancipation from slavery. When we look around ourselves and we ask ourselves questions, for how long are we going to be dictated upon? For how long are we going to be unemployed? For how long are we going to be told lies? Kazi kwa vijana, alafu napewa wheelbarrow na kijiko.
Wanatupea panga na slasha.
Alafu naambiwa atibono mama ikienda juu na wheelbarrow. Na wewe umesoma kizungu, wewe umesoma kwa university, unaenda nyumbani, unaambiwa ati sisi tutakupanga, ati kina boda, kina mama. There will be no mama mboga in our government. Kila mtu atakuwa ni nani? There will be no wheelbarrows in our government. There will be no theft in our government. Kila mtu atakuwa na pesa yake. Ukienda Greater Somalia, which hived itself from Somaliland, or let me say Somaliland Republic, kulikuwa na mambo mengi ya shifter na gorilla na nini, lakini sasa hizo ukienda huko, you can leave your money safe. You don't need to have a bank outside na unalala kwako. Lakini hapa mtu anakuibia, alafu anakuja kukuambia wheelbarrow. Mwingine anatoka huko, anakuambia I'll give you 6,000. What can 6,000 do to you?
Hakuna.
What can 6,000 do? And I'll give you 6,000. Now mwenyewe tuambie ile pesa uko nayo ulitoa wapi? Wewe tuambie kila siku your family ndio wanaenda bunge wanakuwa hii na come on Kenyans. My brother is here. He's not even a member of the Roots Party. Where is he? Wengine, there's nothing wrong kulala na mbwa yako. There's nothing wrong kutembea na mbwa yako. Dogs are medicine to us also. They are healing. But then we have got excess market of dogs in Lubawa market in Kakamega. Where we have so many poor people. Where I come from, we have so many dogs. The dogs that were in Madare North, Wachina walikula kamaliza. Unasikia tu kadogi kamefanywa kitu kamewekwa dawa kamepotea. But we shall export dog meat to China. We shall export hyena meat in China. Because fisi, hatuhitaji fisi katika Kenya hii. China anakulanga fisi. Na tukichukua. Mimi nasikia 1000 fisi 1000. Fisi 1000 wanaume wako na makende 2000. Na mimi nasikia hiyo makende ya fisi ni dawa kwa China. Let's speak it the way it comes. Hapa nataka mnisikize vizuri. Kuna mtu anaitwa Kemsa. Kuna mtu anaitwa Kimororo Dam. Kuna mtu anaitwa Kura. Kenya Road, sijui nini roads. Tunajua hizo contracts nani wamechukua na kagawanya. Family ngapi? 3 tunazijua. Niseme nisiseme? Sema! Haya. Tuna procurement issues na my sister here has a masters in procurement. Ikitokezea mahali kuna familia ngapi? 5 ambazo zimegawanya Kenya. Mimi niko na solution. Because hatuwezi kufanya hivi kila wakati mtu anatoa pesa. Anakuwa the most revered faithful, naenda kununua Mungu ndio akulinde na pesa za wizi. Mungu hatakubali mwizi aende amununue. Hata Yesu mwenyewe alikataa kununuliwa alipoonyeshwa ati in my kingdom yote ni yangu. Hii mikate iko hapa, kuna tudemu hapa, namna hii na namna ile, inama chini unipigie magoti. Yesu alimwambia wewe mtu alisema nini?
Riswa.
Mnasikia hiyo ni yenu. Kwa hiyo hapa kumekuwa na watu they just take no discipline in our society, especially those who are in social fabric, who are bound to bring social relationships within people. If you see somebody who is meant to cure you emotionally, psychologically, and to bring you back to fold, taking stolen money without asking the source of that revenue, taking stolen money, buying himself a card and enriching himself. The same way somebody tried to bring 200 million to me. Ati nichukue hiyo pesa ndio niende ni campaign kwa opponent yake ndio opponent yake aanguke. Imagine what would have happened to all of you who believe in us. Ninunue na pesa kidogo ndio sasa ile furaha mko nayo iende chini. Nitatembea Nairobi, simtaninyonga. Simtaninyonga. I am on the ballot to do that. We shall hang those people. When we put legislation in place, when we suspend the constitution, part of what you have stolen from the government, you commit suicide. In Britain and America and Germany, they take you to jail. But in Kenya, you go to parliament. That is why you see a lot of punitive laws from Nakada, punitive laws and proclamation from those who believe that they are near God, telling you, mnapotezwa na huyo. Because they know that you are going to seal the loopholes of corruption and the loopholes of free things, because you have enough money, which will enable Kenyans to build their own churches and mosques. Because if you have the Bible or a Quran, you can directly pray to God. Yes. Ako kachuma na kaweka ndani ya meli, nachukua tu Chinese tunaweka kwa hiyo meli na magunia 500 ya bangi, tunaambia nendeni kwenu. Why am I speaking like this? China is rotten. Wherever the Chinese go, there is a problem. Can I say it? Niseme nisiseme. When they went to Sri Lanka, they took the port of Sri Lanka as collateral. Sri Lanka now is bankrupt. The embassy cannot even afford to pay. it is rent. Civil servant cannot be paid because China has taken their port as collateral. We shall open up a 4-day working formula in a 24-hour open economy, where we shall have infrastructure working for 24 hours. Then we shall have 8-hour shift, whereby if you go in the morning at 8, you leave at 4. Somebody goes to work at 4, he leaves at 11. And the last shift is from 11 to 6 in the morning, which would mean that the rate of employment will increase. The relationship between employer and employee, the relationship between employer and employee will be cordial. Labor laws that are very restrictive will be abolished. And then on Friday, the Muslim community in the entire Kenya will have a holiday. I will ask Kenyans, through the preamble with the people, which supersedes the entire constitution. I'm a lawyer for God's sake. A lot of lawyers here are very ignorant. They always say the constitution says, but they have no idea of what they are saying apart from simplicity in law school. Unasoma katika moja, unakuwa lawyer, unajifanya wengi. Na sisi tumesoma mpaka tumechambua kila kitu. Let them know that the word of the constitution is in the preamble. Those first words that start. Hii ingine inakuja, that is supplementary. The preamble says we the people. That's where we stop. So long as you give me the mandate to be the president, I'll go back to the preamble and say, I've been given the rights of we the people. And therefore I'll have a right to suspend the constitution. Right. Tanzanians wameenda na Dodoma as a capital city, administrative city, because of congestion in land. Nigeria put up Abuja as their capital. In Kenya, I would suggest that we create a new capital in Isiolo, because Isiolo has got so much land that if we start building, we cannot even finish. We shall take our administrative capital in Isiolo. We shall improve the lives of the people of Isiolo and Northeastern and Eastern by taking our infrastructures and asking companies that want to build up or to move to Isiolo to give them tax rebates, to encourage them to be like Delaware, so that those who are willing to go and build Isiolo, we exempt them from tax for the first 5 years to attract investment. Dubai was built on the sand, but here everybody here wants to stay in Nairobi. We now have jiggers in Nairobi. Nairobi River has been polluted. Everyone wants an identity. If you go to Nigeria, for example, and you go to Ondo State, the number plate ya magari Ondo State ni Ondo 1, Ondo 2. Ukienda Lagos, utaona magari imeandikwa Lagos State, the pride of the state. But in Kenya, we're going to introduce 8 regions for administrative purposes. And we shall have chief ministers in each region. Counties will remain within regions. The federal government will operate from Isiolo, whereby each state will have its own parliament, and each state will have its own counties. We shall no longer have federal governments. We shall have county officers, and whatever state wants to name them or to conjugate them into what have you to be there. So that to give an Rift Valley, for example, Nakuru will be the capital city of Rift Valley. And then if a county like Narok produces unga ya ngano, wheat, tourism, hides and seeds, the revenues collected in Narok will be debated in the capital city of Nakuru, whereby it's up to the Nakuru city, the Nakuru parliament to decide. When it comes to appropriation of funds and taxation, wataangalia say which county has got more revenue. Let us apportion this kind 70% or 60% to this county. We shall report the Chinese funds. Wachina watakwenda kwao, tutawapatia makende ya fisi, tutawapatia nyama ya fisi, tutawapatia nyama ya nyoka, tutawapatia bangi, wakae kwa resign kuchukua port zetu if that is true. I will cancel them and I will cancel all contracts so that Kenya is redesigned to be built again. Ladies and gentlemen.